Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the M18 Hellcat. It's the Tier 6 American tank destroyer. This one's located on the south spawn of Halluf, and it's under the command of Elirox. Now this is a rather unusual 76 M18, mainly down to the fact that it's actually carrying the 76mm gun and not the 90mm as everybody else loads onto their Hellcat. You can see here it's got the 76mm, capable of doing 115 alpha and penetrating 128mm of armour. That means that he has got either the M1A1 or the M1A2, which is a Tier 6 76mm gun. The fact that it's a 128mm pen could mean that it's either of them, but it depends on its DPM and of course the reload time as to which one he's got. First target is a Striv 74 and he gets the front. Now the thing about the 76mm gun is it does have a very fast reload. As you can see here, once every 1.29 seconds per shot, and that means that you can keep pumping shells in far faster than a 90mm can, because that's got a much longer reload. The 90mm takes 8 seconds to reload. This thing takes 3 seconds to reload and is deadly. And in fact, it is the correct gun that the Hellcat was issued with when they first made them. As you know, the Hellcat was designed in 1942, or started in 1942. They built 2,507 of them, and between July of 1943 and October of 1944, they built them at the General Motors plant under the Buick factory. It's basically the first custom-made tank destroyer from a standard design. It wasn't a hull of a tank beforehand. They made this one special, and they made it very lightweight to enable it to move very quickly across the battlefield and engage the enemy. In fact, they do know that on one instance, actually at Bastogne, that a bunch of Hellcats actually did move very quickly to take a town and deny it to the Germans, and they were able to repel a German attack during the Battle of the Bulge simply because the Hellcats were able to get there faster than the M10 Wolverines or anyone else would have got there. They certainly got there faster than the Germans did. So that is probably the only instance where the Hellcat's speed actually did have a dramatic effect upon the battlefield. But only one Hellcat ever ended up with a 90mm gun, and that was only for testing at the Aberdeen Proving Grounds in Maryland. Oh, that super chap, he just did a fairly big jump. And, oh, we've spotted the enemy, and it's a Jackson, which is basically the M10 hull with a 90mm turret. So, yeah, he's going to take shots at this guy. Oh, one-shot kill. Very well played, Elirox. He didn't fire until it was absolutely necessary to, and it was only when the Jackson was already starting to aim. Okay, he's going over this drop to try and stop losing hit points. And he did that very carefully. He's now spotted another enemy, an AMX-12 Sun, fully dialed in. Yep, getting hits. Low roll there. Another high roll. And he got the kill shot. It's 115 alpha with that 128mm pen. Oh, did damage the tracks there because he went down so quickly, but he was moving incredibly fast. This thing does move very, very quickly indeed. 72 kilometers an hour. And oh, well, that enemy died almost of fright, actually. No, it was the Striv 74 and Arty who took out their Striv. But yeah, he would have got that kill, Elirox, if the Striv hadn't got there before he did. Now the score's fairly even at the moment, but it won't be for long because Elirox is actually going to go into the enemy rear and start tearing them new holes in their posteriors. He's about to take on a Jagdpanzer IV who's just been very badly damaged, and he's a one-shot. Hello, Mr. Jagdpanzer. Goodbye. He's back in the garage. He's probably thinking to himself, yeah, I need to look behind me sometimes. Oh, Firefly. Oh, narrowly missed getting hit there. He's putting back. Watch out, that Firefly might have another go. He did pen there. Might... Oh, he did get it that time. Okay, he's getting shots on target now. That's very odd, actually, because the aim is off to one side. Oh, watch out, he's firing this way. Not sure what was going on there because the aim wasn't lining up with the reticule. The shots were going on to target, but oh, be careful. Be careful. No, not wise to go this way. Not wise. Okay, that Firefly's still out there, you see. If the Firefly 5C managed to get a 17-pounder into you, you'd certainly know it. And there's the SU-100, and it looks like he was spotted, so maybe he needs to come over here so he can get a position to shoot back at that SU-100 when he turns up. He might also be able to get the Firefly, who's gone down into the valley. Oh, he's won. He's gone out. He's taken out by our Strip 74, so that's the second kill for that Strip 74. Now, I had the feeling Elirox is going to go round and try and outflank the SU-100, who's just taken a huge amount of damage. And Arty, oh, the kill shot went into the Dicamax. He would have had a kill there. So now, oh, spotted the Burt. And the Burt, I think, knows that he's been seen. This is with the first shot. Oh, he dies with the next one. In fact, it was an ammo rack by the T-3485M. So the enemy has actually won the northwest corner of the map, but we actually have their cap area. Now we're just looking for the Chi-2, who's the last remaining enemy tank. Oh, he's found him. And in fact, he's looking the wrong way. Hello, Mr. Chi-2. Now you can just outdrive this guy and get round behind him if you can. One more to kill. Oh, he missed it. That's better. So he did take one shot from the Chi-2. There's only 3 enemies left. Now he could start capping. That will force the enemy to come back. In fact, he ought to, because otherwise the enemy's going to get to our cap area. But there's 2 of us in the cap. Strip 74, who's got the kills. Where is he? Here he is. So he's going to go over by the bushes, and I think that would probably be the best place to go. The view range for the Hellcat is 370 meters, and that Dicamax is coming up in such a position that if he can get up to the gap, he will also get a piece of any enemy tank that comes from that direction. But I rather think they're going to cap out before the enemy even gets a chance to get back. They've only got 10 seconds left now. I doubt if we're going to see any... Oh, we do see somebody turn up, but it's too late. And one shot to kill him, and that's it. They've capped out to win. And a platoon right at the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Elirox in the M18 Hellcat. He got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 5 actually in that one, as well as a fire effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 7, and he got a Brothers in Arms as well, because both he and the Dicamax's platoon mate managed to get at least 3 kills apiece. In fact, between them, they got 9 kills, which is actually 3/5 of the enemy team in that game. His win rate from the battle was 7,084. He wasn't just actually doing damage, he was also spotting for his team incredibly well. Let's have a look at team score and see where he was. Well, he did get the highest damage in the game, but he didn't get a high caliber because it wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool. He got 2,084 hit points of damage. Second highest damage was the Dicamax, who also managed to get the Brothers in Arms, 1,619 hit points of damage to him. And the third highest damage was the ARL-44 on the enemy team, who actually went up to the northwest corner, and he got 1,550. When it came to kills, yep, it's Elirox. He got 5 kills out of that one. 4 kills went to the Dicamax, 2 kills went to the Strip 74 in his team, as well as the ARL-44, the Porlac tank, and the 88 and the T3485M, who did come back to try and reset the cap, but unfortunately for him, Elirox had a much better view range. Plus, of course, the enemy tank went behind the bushes and couldn't see Elirox when Elirox took him out. When it came to base XP, yeah, he's got that one too. So he's got all top in all three columns. He's the only player to get over 1,000 base with 1,187. 822 went to the Skoda T25 and 701 went to his platoon mate, the Dickermax. He fired 35 rounds of 76mm ammunition. He got 27 direct hits on the enemy and 21 penetrations. 2,084 hit points of damage, of which 1,626 were at more than 300 meters. He did receive one hit. It was a penetration. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It was the Chi 2 that actually got the pen on him, got one back, but then he couldn't avoid it. He tried to outflank the guy, but he was up against the rock face, so the Chi 2 was going to get at least one shot into him. He spotted 3 enemy vehicles, damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 5, did 812 hit points of spotting assist, and he got 49 capture points in the cap. 36,807 credits from the battle, and after repair, ammunition, resupply, and consumables, and yes, he did fire some premium rounds, he actually ended up with a small loss of only 872 credits for the game, 1,780 XP, 3,562 for mission completion, and 5,342 experience points altogether. I think the M18 Hellcat can be very rewarding with the standard 76mm gun. Of course, there are 3 guns that you get with the Hellcat. The stock gun is the M7 Tier 5 3-inch gun, which is a little underwhelming because it doesn't have a very good DPM. The next 2 guns, though, the M1A1 and the M1A2, which are both 76mm, they're Tier 6 guns, and they're capable of this prodigious output in terms of damage. They really can put a lot of shells into the enemy, and as you saw, a standard 90mm gun will take anything up to 8 seconds to reload. Well, that's the book reload time, but the 76mm has only got a 3-second reload, so you can get 2 shells in. Even though the 90mm does 240 alpha, you get 2 shells with the 76mm, and of course you've got much better chance of doing damage to modules with those 2 shots, and potentially also attacking more than one enemy at the same time. So if you've got plenty of targets around there, with the 90mm, you have to wait for that reload to go through, but with the 76mm, you're just blasting away. And you don't have to worry too much about shells as well, because you get more ammo with the 76mm. On the M1A2, you get 55 rounds, and with the M1A1, you get 70 rounds of ammunition. So if you pick the right gun, your DPM goes up tremendously. In fact, with the M1A2, you get a DPM of 2,321 hit points per minute, whereas with the 90mm you only get 1,766. So you can see the M18 Hellcat with the 76mm gun is actually far deadlier than the 90mm one. The 90mm one does a lot of profound damage with one shot, but the 76mm one has got a huge potential for damage, and it is in fact truer that the 76mm is the one that they actually did serve, and that's one of the reasons why it was so good, is because it could fire these rounds really quickly and then quickly depart the area before the enemy could do anything about it. So that's why the Hellcat was a much better tank destroyer, although technically speaking the tank destroyer companies or brigade would actually prefer the M10 RBFM and the Jackson to the M18 Hellcat in the end. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. I think actually we can have a quick look at the armor. Yep, if we see this, we can spot that this thing has virtually no armor all over. If you can see the front there, it's 12.7mm. The turret is only 31.8. Even the side's 31.8. It's very, very thin metal. It's basically designed to stop the shell splinters and small arms fire from damaging or hurting the crew or the vehicle itself, but it's not going to stand up to any attack by any enemy round coming back at it. So ideally, you just want to fire your shot, get the first hit of the encounter, and quickly disappear before the enemy realizes what the hell's going on. If we look at the live version, you can see, yes, anywhere on this vehicle apart from the mantlet, it'll go straight through. Look at the modules. We've seen this one before, but transmissions up front, in front of the driver's mate and with the radio, and of course the driver. We've got the gunner on the left-hand side of the turret with the tank commander directly behind. The loader's on the right-hand side. It's an open top turret. There's ammunition in the bustle there, but there's also ammunition down below. It's on the shoulders of the vehicle, so if you aim just underneath the turret, that's where you aim to take out the Hellcat. We've got the fuel tanks either side of the engine at the back, and the engine is an Aero engine, the Continental R975, and it's actually on a tray, which means that all you have to do is disconnect the drive that goes up to the transmission at the front. You can actually undo the hatch at the back and slide the engine out, which meant that the Hellcat could be much easily serviced, which of course meant that their service rate was much better, because they would be in action whilst the other tank destroyers would be in the garage, or in the motor pool rather, being fixed. This thing could still be in operation because of course it was much easier for the crew to get all the equipment. So yeah, the Hellcat is still a very popular tank destroyer, mainly down to the fact that it's got the fastest tracked vehicle in World War II. I hope you enjoyed that replay. It's certainly nice to see it with the 76mm gun. Thanks to Elirox for sending it in. If you did enjoy the replay, please give it a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.